1st, 2024.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Thursday. Happy warm Halloween to you. Meteorologist Eric Gage getting us started over in the Weather Center. And Eric, you are talking about near record-breaking temperatures, possibly breaking the record, right?
Yes, and I think we could easily do it today. We're talking about record warmth. This is going to be a warm one. Now, temperatures starting out this morning across the board, in fact, taking a look here at the map, will be in the 40s. Now, on paper, you're looking at this map and thinking, well, it's not really that mild this morning, is it? Out in Syracuse and Watertown, it's in the 60s. But I want to zoom in because, again, when you have days like this morning, or at least mornings like this morning, where you have clear skies and a strong south wind, those valleys are colder than the hilltops. 64 in Lowville, 48 in Little Falls. You head down to Deansboro, sitting at 56. Southern Valley's same story. Those lower elevations have fallen into the 40s. So depending on your elevation, believe it or not, if you are higher up in the hilltops, you're actually looking pretty warm. Downtown Utica right now, it's a quiet start to the day. As you can see here, those winds are stronger on those hilltops just south of the Mohawk Valley. And on the radar right now, we're looking at completely dry conditions. Now, what you can expect for Halloween? Well, record-setting temperatures is what you can expect. 78 the high. The record high was 74. So we could break this between 1 to 4 degrees today, depending on that sunshine. So enjoy this Halloween, because following today, we're in for a cool down. We'll talk about when that arrives and how cool we get into the weekend straight ahead. Gary?
Like a Florida Halloween.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, walking outside yesterday, I felt like Florida. It was so warm.
Eric, thanks. Well, it is a tough morning for all of us.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Happy Halloween. Temperatures this morning rather mild in some spots, but it's dry out. 5:13 early today. Well, it's quiet for most of us. Old Fort sitting at 56 balmy degrees, near 60 degrees up there. 53 heading down into Utica with partly cloudy to mostly clear skies. And heading into Cooperstown, 53 as well. Dry start to the day today. A look at our traffic tracker early this morning. There's only one incident to report of. There is a report of an accident along I-90. It was reported around 4:14 this morning. Since then, it looks to be that there's no more notification that on the traffic alerts at this point. But just a heads up, if you're heading westbound, that there is potential for an accident right after that 790 exit. So today, temperatures will be starting out in the 40s to as high as the 60s, depending on elevation. And this afternoon and this evening, no traffic impacts are expected, but a reminder to keep a close eye on roadways for potential trick-or-treaters. Gary?
That's for sure, Eric. Thanks. And with the nice weather forecasted for today and tonight, law enforcement agencies are...
Well, your day. Tune in for the Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast, brought to you by Munson. Visit Munson today and ignite curiosity and creativity. Visiting Munson and the Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast, both free and both Utica's very own. Remember, all roads lead to Munson. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Halloween. And today, this could be one of the warmest Halloweens on record. This is going to be a nice one today. And I think that any of you that were debating going out trick-or-treating, this is the day for it. Downtown Utica right now, it's a quiet start to your morning. Temperature sitting at 53 degrees in the city. In other spots across central New York, in the 40s along some valley locations. But you head up to those hilltops, it's up into the 60s, where that strong south wind is supplying us with that warmer air from the southeast. Now, a live look at the Earthful Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We are entirely dry this morning, and throughout the entire daytime and through trick-or-treating tonight, weather looks to be entirely dry. So how about that trick-or-treating forecast? Well, at 5 p.m., partly sunny skies, temperatures in the low 70s. Keep in mind, we are a day away from November, and it's 72 at 5 p.m. Then at 7 p.m., we're at 68 degrees, partly cloudy skies. Eventually, 66 by 9 p.m. So if you're one of those later trick-or-treaters, conditions looking pretty warm. So overall, pretty mild stretch heading into the late evening hours. Today's high temperature, by the way, will be peaking in the upper 70s. Regarding that chance of rain, it continues to be delayed a little further. Most of this actually happening beyond midnight and into the early morning Friday. So we mentioned earlier in the week we were cutting it close with rain showers. The good news is that that signal, that front, has slowed down a little bit. Following that, it will dry out for most of Friday, and then Friday night is when we could see a return to some potential spotty lake effect showers. Larger scale picture, a dome of high pressure is keeping things dry right now. And notice these temperatures, those darker oranges and lighter oranges into our area today. But that cold front will eventually sweep through our area by tonight. And in the wake of it, aside from cooling things down slightly this weekend, no major cool down. You notice here most of those frigid temperatures still stay to the north. We are right on the border of the chilly, very chilly daytime temperatures and the very warm to the south. So this is a typical pattern we see usually in mid-fall. And so in our Skycast today, temperatures in the 70s, record-setting conditions. Then by tonight, scattered showers roll through, potentially a rumble of thunder based off of how warm it is right now. Then Friday, starting out dry, a few lingering lake effect clouds will roll through, and then maybe some overnight lake effect drizzle heading into early Saturday morning. And Saturday itself is going to be a cool one. Matter of fact, the entire weekend looking a little cool. Temperatures in the 40s and 50s Saturday and Sunday. So if you want to enjoy the warm weather, enjoy it today, because we're not looking at any upper 70-degree days for quite some time. We're back to 60s by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, so not too bad, but this is record warm.
Yeah, definitely enjoy it out there tonight and be safe. Eric, thanks. The time right now is 5:23. Still have
Thursday, October 31st, 2024.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore, and once again, happy Halloween to you, and get ready for some record-breaking temperatures. Meteorologist Eric Gage joining us from the Weather Center. And Eric, you're talking possibly near 80 degrees today.
Yes, upper 70s expected this afternoon, and it's hard to believe that we're talking about Halloween in late October. But yeah, around the state early this morning, let's take a look at those current conditions. We are sitting in the 40s for some spots, but I do want to clarify that those are valley locations. Zooming in to some of those hilltops, it's actually a little warmer. Matter of fact, Lowville sitting at 64. Lake Pleasant and Long Lake, the warm spots at 60 degrees. It's in the 40s as you head down into the Mohawk Valley. This is, of course, due to that strong south wind supplying us with that warm air. Now to the south, 50s and 40s across much of the region. Downtown Utica right now, it's a dry start to your Halloween. Wind speeds picking up in the hilltops. It's not as windy as it was yesterday in parts of western New York, but it's expected to be windier this evening and tonight. Radar is entirely dry, and this Halloween, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be potentially record-setting. Peaking in the upper 70s this afternoon, sunshine, feeling a lot like summer, but enjoy it, because as we head into the next few days, we'll likely see a cool down back to reality. We'll, of course, talk about that forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks, and don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. With 5 days to go until...
Channel 2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Halloween. Today's photo of the day takes us to Forestport, another neck of the woods where we are seeing a great shot of the fall foliage taken about a week or so ago. Before more of the leaves continued to fall. An amazing photo sent in by Lazor Photography. Again, we're accepting photos from all kinds, whether you're an amateur photographer with your cell phone or a professional photographer with the fanciest of camera equipment. You got a great photo? Send it to the link right there on the top of your screen, WKTV.com/weather/pics. We'll continue our cycle around all of central New York, continuing tomorrow and through next week, finding the best pictures that you guys have submitted here on Sunrise. And it's, again, a difficult task. All these photos are just amazing. Now, today's temperatures are starting out in the 40s and 50s. Matter of fact, one spot, Hessville, sitting at 60 degrees. Same thing with Lake Pleasant. And we will continue to see these mild temperatures this morning climb quickly into very warm temperatures, 78 for the high today. And we'll talk about how long that warm stretch lasts and how cool we get heading the weekend straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. A proposal to hang signs honoring local
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Halloween, and we've got potentially the warmest Halloween on record on tap for today. But downtown Utica right now, it's a quiet start. Temperatures sitting in the 50s right now. Some spots in the 40s, as you can see here, 46 in Rome, 43 in Hamilton. And it really just depends on your elevation and location. Hilltops are warm based off of that strong south wind. So a bit of a battle going on with atmospheric mixing way up in the sky. Radar right now is entirely dry, and as we head throughout the day today, we're looking at high temperatures peaking in the upper 70s. But how about trick-or-treating time? What's it looking like for that? Well, this is probably one of the nicest trick-or-treating forecasts you'll see in quite some time. 72 to start at around 5 p.m. By 7 p.m., it's still 68 degrees. 9 p.m., 66. Keep in mind, our normal high for Halloween is usually down into the 50s. We get right into the 40s maybe as we approach the late evening. So just to give you an idea of just how warm this is going to be today, one of the nicest Halloweens we'll probably ever see. Our chance of rain today looks to hold off until the overnight hours, beyond midnight and through the early morning on Friday. So that's great news for those of you heading out to trick-or-treat tonight. But again, just as a reminder, keep a close eye on the roadways, as if it's going to be pretty busy with the weather today. There's going to be a lot of trick-or-treaters out, and you want to make sure that you can slow down in some of these neighborhoods. And so the bigger picture, high pressure is firmly in place right now, keeping things dry and warm. Here's that surge of warm weather. Following this high pressure dome exiting to the east, here comes this cold front, bringing some scattered showers and a slight cool down as we head into Friday and eventually the weekend. And so on our Skycast today, temperatures peaking in the upper 70s. By tonight, we're back down into the still 60s and 50s by early tomorrow morning. Then following that, some sunshine by Friday afternoon. Clouds increase, lake effect drizzle as we head into the overnight hours into early Saturday morning. So following Friday, 40s and 50s for the weekend. It's going to be a cooler one. And then following that, we're back into the 50s and eventually mid-60s by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. We'll be right back.
Little Falls.
The news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Thursday. I'm Gary Liberatore. Happy Halloween to everyone out there, and what can you expect weather-wise as the kids go out trick-or-treating? I think it's some good things. Meteorologist Eric Gage joining us now, and Eric, you are talking record-breaking temperatures today.
Yeah, so record warm days expected for your Halloween. You couldn't ask for better weather to do trick-or-treating. Temperatures starting out the day today are in the 40s in some spots, as warm as 60, 66 degrees in other spots. Notice here, Watertown 66, 45 as you head down into Rome. And this is all due to strong atmospheric mixing taking place. We have a strong south wind hitting those hilltops and producing warmer temperatures, 64 in Lowville. But the valleys are shielded from that south wind, and it's allowing those temperatures to cool a lot quicker. You notice here 48 and 47 in Little Falls and Dolgeville. Southern valleys, you can see here, the valley locations a little cooler than those hilltops. Downtown Utica right now, well, we're looking at quiet conditions, and aside from a decent southeasterly wind across those hilltops, we are looking at dry weather. Now, the next 12 hours will be well above average for this time of year, and your actual high for the day today, sitting at 78 degrees. Record-setting high today, but enjoy it while it lasts, because following today, we'll likely see a cool down. We'll talk about how cool we get heading into the first days of November straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Well, it is a tough.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back to Sunrise, everyone, on this Halloween. The time now is 6:13, and what can you expect heading out the door this Halloween? Well, for starts, let's take a look up in Old Forge, where it's sitting at 56 pleasant degrees on this October 31st. A very warm start to the day today up in the North Country. Heading into the Mohawk Valley, we are sitting in the 50s as well, 54 sitting in downtown Utica. And lastly, Cooperstown at 51. Most of us starting out the day rather mild. I'll look at the traffic tracker early today. Again, as I mentioned in the past hour, there is an accident reported along I-90 westbound after exit 31, but as of now, there are no additional updates. This came through on 4:14 this morning. So aside from any new updates, it looks to be there's no traffic issues regarding this. But anyways, back to the forecast for today. Anything you could expect that could impact you? Well, this morning, really nothing much. Partly sunny skies, temperatures in the 50s. This afternoon and this evening, however, just a reminder to keep a close eye on those roadways, as there will be a lot of trick-or-treaters tonight with this nice weather. Make sure, especially when it's dark out, to go very slow in neighborhoods. Gary?
That's right, Eric. And with the nice forecast for Halloween, law enforcement agencies.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Halloween. As we look ahead to the day today, it's going to be a warm one. In fact, record-setting warmth. Downtown Utica right now, we're looking at quiet conditions early today, sitting at 61 degrees, a very mild start to your October 31st. And the rest of the state, depending on elevation, are in the 40s as high as 60 degrees. The radar is entirely dry early this morning, and we're expecting, again, temperatures peaking into the upper 70s, 78 officially the high, based off of the fact that we'll be seeing a decent amount of sunshine today and that strong south wind. But the most important thing, though, is if you and your kids are going out trick-or-treating tonight, what's the weather going to be like? Well, you couldn't really ask for better trick-or-treating weather. 72 at 5 p.m., it's dry. How about 7 p.m., 68 and dry. 9 p.m., 66 and also dry. This is one of the nicest Halloween forecasts or trick-or-treating forecasts we've seen in quite some time. So if you're debating going out and doing it, you couldn't really ask for better conditions. Well, let's talk about that rainfall. We mentioned earlier this week we were cutting it close for rainfall potential for tonight. Well, it's delayed even further into the overnight hours into early Friday morning. So as you can see here, right around midnight is the primary time for scattered showers. With this cold front, we could even see some rumbles of thunder as well due to how warm it's going to be in the late evening. Following that, we dry out for most of Friday, but by Friday evening and Friday night, a few spotty lake effect drizzly showers are possible. Well, the bigger picture here, we've got this dome of high pressure keeping things quiet here today. And of course, you can see those oranges and I would say near reds to the south, giving us these warmer temperatures. But following this cold front tonight, we'll cool right back down to right around average as we head into Friday and eventually Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday, though, a little bit cooler than average, and we'll, of course, show that in just a second. And so in our Skycast today, we're going to be climbing as high as the mid-70s, upper 70s in the lower elevations. Then by tonight, 11 p.m., we're still in the 60s and 70s, very warmer than average, about 20 or so degrees warmer than average. And then following that, we're down in the 50s overnight into early Friday. Friday, 54 the high, if we're lucky. And then following that, we're down into the 40s for Saturday and Sunday. So Again, we've got cooler days ahead. A slight warm-up is expected by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, but nowhere near as warm as it's going to be today. So, again, enjoy this fantastic Halloween weather. Gary?
And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
With Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore. What can you expect weather-wise as you head out the door this morning and as you get ready to send the kids trick-or-treating tonight? Meteorologist Eric Gage joining us. And Eric, I think both are good news, right?
Yes, fantastic news regarding the weather today. Now, we're talking about a day away from November 1st. We are technically in snow season. And on top of that, we're talking about record-setting warmth. Conditions early this morning, well, they're starting out in the 40s in some valley locations. The hilltops are where it's actually warmer. This is due to that strong south wind at this point. It's 63 in Lowville, where those hilltops are producing those warmer temperatures. But in those valleys shielded from the wind, it's cooled down into the 50s and 40s. In downtown Utica right now, we are barely seeing the early morning twilight out in the eastern sky. And those wind conditions around the state, you can clearly see those hilltops south of the valley are where the strongest winds are taking place. Radar is dry this morning. It's expected to remain entirely dry for the day today as we see record high temperatures in the upper 70s. And following that, we'll talk about those exact temperatures as you head out the door tonight for trick-or-treating, as well as how long this warm stretch lasts if it continues onward into the weekend, coming up in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. With 5 days to go until Election Day, the camp
Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Halloween. Today, we're taking a look at our photo of the day, which is taking us around central New York to all the corners of our region. And this one is in Forestport from a photo taken last week by Lazor Photography. Amazing shot of the Moose River right there in the backdrop. Of course, the beautiful fall foliage. If you want to submit a photo like this, you can send it to the link right there on the top of your screen, WKTV.com/weather/pics. Well, this morning, temperatures start out in the 40s, as high as the 60s in some parts of the region. Record-setting warmth this afternoon, but will that last longer than today? We'll have that full forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. A proposal to hang signs honoring local veterans down in
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Halloween. And not only will it be a pleasant start to the day, it's going to be a record warm afternoon. Let's take a live look outside in downtown Utica right now. The early morning twilight is picking up in the eastern sky. There's a few lingering clouds out in the distance, but clear skies directly ahead. Sitting at 61 degrees officially. A little cooler in Rome right now, but of course that's due to those valley locations shielded from that south wind. Will likely climb very quickly over the next few hours. Radar is entirely dry early this morning. We are tracking an entirely dry day today, with the exception of the overnight hours tonight. And so with high temperatures today peaking in the upper 70s, record setting, by the way, record was set back in 2003 of 74 degrees. It could beat it by 3, maybe 4 degrees across the board. And of course, these records go back to even the early 1900s. You give you an idea of just how long these records have stood. But if you are trick-or-treating tonight, well, what can you expect? Well, this could be one of the best nights ever for trick-or-treating. 72 at 5 p.m., maybe a little bit later, 68 at 7 p.m., and then even farther, 9 p.m., sitting at 66 degrees. Overall, this is a fantastic stretch of several hours, which will also be completely dry, by the way. So no rain expected, mild conditions, the most fantastic weather expected for trick-or-treating. Now, the rainfall that you're mentioning all throughout the week is actually arriving late tonight into early tomorrow morning from a cold front. That'll bring some lingering showers in early Friday morning, drying out throughout the afternoon, and return to some spotty light drizzle heading into the overnight hours for Friday night. And on our Skycast today, you can see here this dome of high pressure, this atmospheric setup favors warm record-setting temperatures today. A ridge over here supplying us with that southeast wind. However, following this, that warm air exits to the south. We're going to see this cool air gradually work in from a cold front, of course, following those rain showers tonight. And then this weekend will be favoring cooler conditions. And so, on our Skycast today, we start out in the 50s and some spots even 60s, climbing into the 70s by this afternoon with plenty of sunshine. And then by tonight, clouds will increase. Then we'll see that cold front roll through, maybe even rumble of thunder overnight into early tomorrow morning. So you might potentially wake up from that with some thunder and lightning. Then we do dry out by Friday afternoon. Before Friday evening, clouds return and we'll get a northwesterly wind producing some clouds for early Saturday and potentially a few spotty lake effect drizzly showers. But your 7-day forecast, the high for the day Friday will actually be in the morning. We cool down throughout the day, back into the 50s by the evening, 40s by Saturday, 52 the high Sunday. You turn your clocks back an hour then, and then as we head into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, we warm up a little bit, but of course nowhere near the record high temperature we're seeing today. Gary?
Eric, thank you. Coming up, we're going to have much more straight ahead.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Halloween, and we are tracking one of the nicest Halloweens we will see in quite some time. Matter of fact, radar and satellite earlier today showing that we've got clouds decreasing, a large dome of high pressure keeping things warm and keeping things completely dry here for the next 12 to potentially up to 18 hours. I do think the rain does arrive as early as late tonight, but the daytime, of course, being more important. Temperatures this morning, we start out in the 50s, climbing as high as the 70s, upper 70s by this afternoon before we cool down again tonight. Now, I'm showing the afternoon and evening because regarding those rainfall chances, it's dry for the entire day today, roughly until around midnight. That's when that cold front will gradually begin to arrive. Now, today's highs will be in the upper 70s, but how about for trick-or-treating? How are those temperatures shaping up? Well, how about this? We've got conditions at 5 p.m. at 72 degrees, dry weather. 7 p.m., 68 with dry weather. And lastly, 66 at 9 p.m., also with dry weather, partly cloudy skies. So this is one of the nicest stretches you could expect for Halloween, especially here in central New York in late October. Now, regarding that chance of rain again, here it comes tonight into early tomorrow morning. Following that, some lingering drizzle does come to an end. We dry out for the most part Friday with some peaks of sunshine, and then our next shot for rain from some patchy lake effect drizzle arrives Friday night. Now, the large-scale side of things, here is this dome of high pressure right here. And notice these white lines. This is where the winds are coming from. They're supplying us with that southeast warm wind going from Pennsylvania, Ohio, down into Kentucky. That's where our warm air is originating from. Now, as we head throughout the day today, we'll see that warm supply gradually shift south. And notice those white lines here, if you can see them on your screen, favor a more northwesterly wind. And that's when we'll start to see a slight cool down as we head into this coming weekend. And notice here, although we're going to be drying out by Saturday, we still got some of these cooler winds coming in from the north. And so on our Skycast today, we started out in the 50s, climbing into the 70s by this afternoon and this evening. Record-setting highs tonight. Lows fall down into the 60s after the few scattered showers. Tomorrow starts out in the 60s, cools down throughout the day into the 50s, and eventually 40s by Friday evening, Friday night. It's dry throughout most of the day Friday, by the way, then lake effect patchy drizzle overnight into early Saturday morning. Saturday is going to be a cool one. Most of the day will struggle to reach the 50-degree mark. So we got a cool one on Saturday and likely into Sunday as well. So if you do enjoy very warm conditions, get out and enjoy it today. Following that, windy, cool Friday, 40s Saturday and Sunday. A reminder, though, again, to turn those clocks back an hour Sunday morning, early Sunday morning. And then, of course, following that, we're back into the 50s and slightly warming up into the 60s by Tuesday and Wednesday.
Severe
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Halloween, and we are tracking one of the nicest Halloweens we will see in quite some time. Matter of fact, radar and satellite earlier today showing that we've got clouds decreasing, a large dome of high pressure keeping things warm and keeping things completely dry here for the next 12 to potentially up to 18 hours. I do think, though, rain does arrive as early as late tonight. But the daytime, of course, being more important. Temperatures this morning, we start out in the 50s, climbing as high as the 70s, upper 70s by this afternoon, before we cool down again tonight. Now, I'm showing the afternoon and evening because regarding those rainfall chances, it's dry for the entire day today, roughly until around midnight. That's when that cold front will gradually begin to arrive. Now, today's highs will be in the upper 70s, but how about for trick-or-treating? How are those temperatures shaping up? Well, how about this? We've got conditions at 5 p.m. at 72 degrees, dry weather. 7 p.m., 68 with dry weather. And lastly, 66 at 9 p.m., also with dry weather, partly cloudy skies. So this is one of the nicest stretches you could expect for Halloween, especially here in central New York in late October. Now, regarding that chance of rain again, here it comes tonight into early tomorrow morning. Following that, some lingering drizzle does come to an end. We dry out for the most part Friday with some peaks of sunshine, and then our next shot for rain from some patchy lake effect drizzle arrives Friday night. Now, the large-scale side of things, here is this dome of high pressure right here. And notice these white lines. This is where the winds are coming from. They're supplying us with that southeast warm wind going from Pennsylvania, Ohio, down into Kentucky. That's where our warm air is originating from. Now, as we head throughout the day today, we'll see that warm supply gradually shift south. And notice those white lines here, if you can see them on your screen, favor a more northwesterly wind. And that's when we'll start to see a slight cool down as we head into this coming weekend. And notice here, although we're going to be drying out by Saturday, we still got some of these cooler winds coming in from the north. And so on our Skycast today, we started out in the 50s, climbing into the 70s by this afternoon and this evening. Record-setting highs. Tonight, lows fall down into the 60s after the few scattered showers. Tomorrow starts out in the 60s, cools down throughout the day into the 50s, and eventually 40s by Friday evening, Friday night. It's dry throughout most of the day Friday, by the way, then lake effect patchy drizzle overnight into early Saturday morning. Saturday is going to be a cool one. Most of the day will struggle to reach the 50-degree mark. So we got a cool one on Saturday and likely into Sunday as well. So if you do enjoy very warm conditions, get out and enjoy it today. Following that, windy, Cool Friday, 40s Saturday and Sunday. A reminder, though, again, to turn those clocks back an hour Sunday morning, early Sunday morning. And then, of course, following that, we're back into the 50s and slightly warming up into the 60s by Tuesday and Wednesday.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Halloween, and we are tracking one of the nicest Halloweens we will see in quite some time. Matter of fact, radar and satellite earlier today showing that we've got clouds decreasing, a large dome of high pressure keeping things warm and keeping things completely dry here for the next 12 to potentially up to 18 hours. I do think, though, rain does arrive as early as late tonight. But the daytime, of course, being more important. Temperatures this morning, we start out in the 50s, climbing as high as the 70s, upper 70s by this afternoon, before we cool down again tonight. Now, I'm showing the afternoon and evening because regarding those rainfall chances, it's dry for the entire day today, roughly until around midnight. That's when that cold front will gradually begin to arrive. Now, today's highs will be in the upper 70s, but how about for trick-or-treating? How are those temperatures shaping up? Well, how about this? We've got conditions at 5 p.m. at 72 degrees, dry weather, 7 p.m. 68 with dry weather, and lastly 66 at 9 p.m. also with dry weather, partly cloudy skies. So this is one of the nicest stretches you could expect for Halloween, especially here in central New York in late October. Now, regarding that chance of rain again, here it comes tonight into early tomorrow morning. Following that, some lingering drizzle does come to an end. We dry out for the most part Friday with some peaks of sunshine, and then our next shot for rain from some patchy lake effect drizzle arrives Friday night. Now, the large scale side of things, here is this dome of high pressure right here. And notice these white lines. This is where the winds are coming from. They're supplying us with that southeast warm wind going from Pennsylvania, Ohio, down into Kentucky. That's where our warm air is originating from. Now, as we head throughout the day today, we'll see that warm supply gradually shift south. And notice those white lines here, if you can see them on your screen, favor a more northwesterly wind. And that's when we'll start to see a slight cool down as we head into this coming weekend. And notice here, although we're going to be drying out by Saturday, we still got some of these cooler winds coming in from the north. And so on our Skycast today, we started out in the 50s, climbing into the 70s by this afternoon and this evening. Record-setting highs. Tonight, lows fall down into the 60s with a few scattered showers. Tomorrow starts out in the 60s, cools down throughout the day into the 50s, and eventually 40s by Friday evening, Friday night. It's dry throughout most of the day Friday, by the way, then lake effect patchy drizzle overnight into early Saturday morning. Saturday is going to be a cool one. Most of the day will struggle to reach the 50-degree mark. So we got a cool one on Saturday and likely into Sunday as well. So if you do enjoy very warm conditions, get out and enjoy it today. Following that, windy, cool Friday, 40s Saturday and Sunday. A reminder, though, again, to turn those clocks back an hour Sunday morning, early Sunday morning. And then, of course, following that, we're back into the 50s and slightly warming up into the 60s by Tuesday and Wednesday.
Severe flooding from
Eric Gage joining us now, and this Halloween will go down in the record books for sure. We're already at the all-time record high right now, right?
Yes, 74 degrees right now. It's hard to believe we are one day away from November, and we're sitting here, and it's T-shirt weather outside. Look at those current conditions out there right now. Yes, 74 in Rome. It's already near 80 degrees out in Syracuse right now. It is a balmy one out there today. And on top of that, of course, with these warmer temperatures, we're going to be seeing some stronger winds. Now, of course, the strongest winds are coming off of Lake Erie onto Buffalo, around 20-mile-per-hour sustained winds. Some stronger wind gusts in the hilltops south of the valley. Winds do calm a little bit as you head into the valley, as those hills do shield those lowest of elevations. But Syracuse still sitting at 17 miles per hour right now. Downtown Utica right now, gorgeous blue skies. Almost, again, hard to believe that we are in Halloween today. And matter of fact, today's high, of course, we're going to be breaking that record. Temperature sitting at 78 degrees for the all-time record high here in central New York. Following today, we are tracking some big changes to the weather. We'll, of course, talk about that straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. A heads up for those in the Herkimer County town of North.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Halloween, and it for sure doesn't feel like Halloween out. It feels almost like mid-August day out there. Temperatures are in the 70s. Although we can slowly see the October, early November light conditions out there with the leaves no longer on the trees. But even in Cooperstown, it's 71 degrees out. Current conditions 74 at Griffiths and Rome. Winds are calm. The winds are, of course, much stronger as you head down into the hilltops just south of the Mohawk Valley. Radar is entirely dry, and as we take a zoom out right here, the next chance of rain is actually this cold front way out here near Michigan. So we've got several hours, in fact, the rest of the day today to remain entirely dry. Rain is not on our doorstep, at least for the near term. But talking about those temperatures, we are going to be peaking in the upper 70s today, breaking that all-time record of 74 degrees. By tonight, temperatures remain rather mild, leading from this cold front, ahead of that cold front, where things will be unsettled eventually, a few scattered showers overnight, and then we do eventually dry out by the daytime hours tomorrow. So how about the Halloween forecast? This could be one of the nicest Halloweens we've ever had here in central New York. Temperatures will be in the 70s by 5 p.m., 7 p.m., 68, looking dry, and most importantly, we're still dry at 9 p.m. So depending on when you go out to trick or treat, it's going to be dry, and it's going to be a warm one. So not too often do you see these temperatures in central New York for this time of year. Regarding that rainfall, remain dry until, again, overnight, roughly around or a little after midnight into early Friday morning. In the wake of that cold front, temperatures will cool down throughout the day Friday, and we'll see a return to potential spotty lake effect showers and drizzle heading into early Saturday morning, Friday night time frame. And so the larger picture right here, we can see this dome of high pressure dragging in that southeast wind right now. By tonight, that cold front sweeps through, and then we'll see a little bit of a cool down. It's not a massive one, but it's enough to remind you that we're back to, or at least late October, early November-like weather as we head into Friday and Saturday. And so in our Skycast, very warm conditions today. Tonight, lows fall back down into the 70s and 60s. Cooling down from 65 at 6 a.m. tomorrow, down into the low 50s to eventually 40. So one of those moments where you don't need a jacket heading out to work, you'll probably need it heading back from work. Very rare, or at least not too common, do you see cooling days. But your 7-day forecast, the high for tomorrow again in the morning, then it's cool for Saturday and Sunday. Highs only in the upper 40s, low 50s. So we're going to get a bit of a reality check back to fall-like weather continuing into next week, but I mean, let's just talk about today. It's going to be fantastic. Best Halloween probably ever had weather-wise.
Yeah, what a fall we've had.
Yeah, it's so nice. So many warm days, so many sunny days as well.
Fitting to end October like this. Eric, thanks. Well, in a 6-3 vote, and meteorologist Eric Gage joining us now. And Eric, what a day out there for all of us who are getting out of work soon. Boy, I can't wait.
Yeah, so you got 74 right now, and it's hard to believe, you know, it's Halloween. I didn't dress up much, so I got this little mug here that I found. So maybe a little too much space for my coffee. But what I can tell you is today, as you look behind me right now, it's very warm out. Temperature's already at 74. We'll actually warm even higher into the upper 70s by this afternoon. In fact, let's take a look outside right now across parts of our region in the Mesonet network. Lots of blue skies. And again, it's one of those moments where it's hard to believe. We're almost in November. 74 right now in Rome, 77 in Syracuse. Downtown Utica right now, gorgeous blue skies. And today, as I mentioned, high temperature will be in the upper 70s. Would we hit 80? I don't think most areas will. Maybe the lowest elevations heading down towards, let's say, Syracuse likely will. But it's going to be a warm one out there regardless of whether we hit the 80-degree mark or not. Record-breaking temperatures today, but we'll see some big changes in the weather as we head into tomorrow and the weekend. We'll, of course, talk about that straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thank you. And the weather outside is...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Halloween, and you couldn't ask for better weather. This is just absolutely fantastic conditions outside right now. Live look in Cooperstown, notice in the far distance that American flag waving pretty fast. Some locations in the higher elevations south of the Mohawk Valley seeing some pretty decent wind speeds. And downtown Utica, in fact, Griffiths and Rome right now reporting 74 degree temperatures with 0 mile per hour winds. A little tongue twister right there. But slightly muggy out as well. We're seeing a slight increased humidity, but most of that is elevated way up in the sky, which is why we're seeing some decent passing of some wispy cirrus clouds, especially earlier today. Now the radar is entirely dry. Zooming out, our next chance of rain is actually from this cold front way out to near Michigan. So we're still very far away from rain being on our doorstep, which means that we've got nice weather heading into this evening and at least early tonight. This afternoon, temperatures will peak close to 80 degrees based off of all the sunshine and how things are trending with these warmer temperatures. Would not be shocked if we do reach 80 in some isolated spots in the lowest elevations. By tonight, we'll cool back down into the 60s, then back into the 50s by tomorrow. But the cool down happens during the daytime. We're actually starting out warmer in the morning than we are in the evening tomorrow. But let's talk about that trick-or-treat forecast. Heading out to, tonight, well, 72 at 5 with dry conditions. 7 will be 68 degrees, and at 9 o'clock, 66 degrees. This is probably the nicest stretch of trick-or-treating weather we've had in central New York in quite a long time. In fact, the last time it was this warm, well, the warmest it was on record was, of course, back in 2003. So our chance of rain tonight, generally overnight, past midnight into early tomorrow morning. Following that, some lingering patchy drizzle does come to an end. We'll see some sunshine tomorrow afternoon, but then lake effect clouds could pass through later on tomorrow night. Bigger picture, high pressure firmly in place right now. That cold front drags through our region, and we'll start to see some cooler temperatures push in by tomorrow and into the weekend. And so highs today, upper 70s this evening and tonight, only falling down into the 60s. It's going to be a very mild start to the day tomorrow, but following some early morning showers will gradually cool down from the 60s into the 50s throughout the day on Friday, and eventually by Saturday, most of the daytime will be spent in the 40s. So quite a change in the weather over the next few days. 78 today, 48 on Saturday. Then on Sunday, 52 degrees, slightly warmer. We're actually back to the 60s again by Tuesday and Wednesday. The long-term weather pattern that I can see right now, we're not looking at any major cool downs, but of course, a reminder that we are in October, eventually in November by tomorrow, and we'll see a lot more 40s and 50s rather than 70s pushing 80.
And the way this fall's been going, we may not see a big snowstorm till like February, maybe.
Well, I don't want to call that news yet, but I can guarantee you no snow the next 7 days.
Eric, thanks. Well, it is definitely a tough day.
News with Jason Palace.
Good evening, everyone. No tricks, just treats. We are looking at record-breaking warmth this Halloween night. Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis is on the hunt for candy. He's live in New Hartford for trick-or-treating. Bill, good evening.
Yeah, it's a beautiful afternoon here in central New York. Temperatures climbed into the upper 70s today. 79 degrees was the unofficial high, which breaks the record of 74 set back in 2003. We are looking at really warm weather this evening, so if the kids are heading out, it is just a very comfortable evening. It's kind of strange for it feeling like this on Halloween. A lot of times we're talking about temperatures in the 40s and some snow showers, but again, this year it's just very different. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We are tracking a big change in the weather. We have a cold front that's going to move in tonight. That does bring rain, but not until after trick-or-treat time. It's going to be after midnight, and that will bring in some much cooler weather. We're talking about a big drop in temperature as we head into the weekend and beyond. I've got a look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
All right, Bill, thanks very much. Well, the weather won't keep people from voting.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
What a Halloween. Temperatures in the upper 70s today. The monsters are happy. The trick-or-treaters are happy. It's just a great day. Behind me, I've got the Ghostbuster mobile, so I don't know how long these guys are going to be around. But again, if you are heading out this evening, it is looking to be a fantastic evening. It feels like a summer evening. It's just very strange, but again, very comfortable for the trick-or-treaters. We're live down here in New Hartford. It's slowly starting to warm up. We're here a little early, but I think we are going to see a lot more trick-or-treaters here throughout the evening time. And again, the bigger picture shows the weather that will eventually be changing, but not this evening. If you're heading out for trick-or-treating, it is looking great. Temperatures will be in the upper 60s to low 70s. Bigger picture does show a cold front moving in from the west, but that doesn't arrive until after midnight with the rain, the wind, and the drop in temperature that will be taking place tomorrow. Just a reminder, with the next round of rain moving in, there's a lot of leaves on the ground in parking lots, roadways. The leaves can be very, very slippery when they get wet. Just a reminder to just be mindful of that. With wet roads, it can take as long as 3 times longer to stop in certain conditions. 77 degrees is the current temperature. We hit 79 at Griffiths and Rome. That's the unofficial high today. Whitesboro 79, 75 in Cooperstown, even inlet, even in the middle of the Adirondacks. A temperature of 72. There's the drop. We are going to see temperatures in the 60s tomorrow, and then into the 50s and 40s here as we head into the weekend and beyond. Scattered showers will be moving in tonight. Overnight lows will drop down into the low 60s. It's windy and cloudy as we head into tomorrow, and just a breezy day. So much cooler weather is expected as we head into Friday. The weekend is looking a lot nicer. We're expecting a mix of sunshine and clouds for Saturday, and it is chilly at night too. Just keep that in mind. Temperatures are going to be dropping below freezing here heading into Saturday night. Rain tonight, low temperature of 58. Tomorrow, we're looking at cloudy skies, windy conditions, temperatures in the low 60s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Again, a chilly weekend, a high temperature of 48 on Saturday. We're into the 20s Saturday night. Also, a reminder, we changed the clocks this weekend. We're going to fall back 1 hour Saturday night into early Sunday. Showers on Monday. Election day looks warm. Temperatures in the upper 60s. Rain showers return as we head into Wednesday. But yeah, just a phenomenal evening here in central New York for the trick-or-treaters. Jason, back to you.
Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. Gotta love it, Bill. Thanks so much. Oh, we aren't the only ones feeling the Halloween heat in dozens of cities. The last day of October feels more like summer. Jesse Kirsch reports from spooky Salem, Massachusetts.
Trick-or-treaters could face some pretty spooky heat with one of the hottest Halloweens on record for parts of the country.
When I was a kid, we had to wear winter coats because it was going to snow on Halloween.
Dozens of cities expecting above-average temperatures, with places like Hartford and Pittsburgh poised to smash records today with summer-like heat. For some, the spooky warm weather a welcome surprise, meaning there's no need to layer up under those costumes.
I wore shorts this year, so that was nice.
In New York City, organizers of the annual Village Halloween Parade, the nation's largest, say the unusual warmth could draw even bigger crowds. Meanwhile, as Halloween tourists flock to Salem, Massachusetts, home of the infamous 17th century witch trials, 2 brush fires are burning and impacting air quality.
This is the first morning we haven't had smoke since Saturday, so we are very happy about that, and Halloween shall go off.
City officials say Salem is on track to break visitor records this year.
It's getting hot, so I feel like I'm kind of home in Jacksonville right now.
And with temperatures expected to climb to 78 degrees here today.
It's good for trick-or-treating and stuff.
Monsters and ghosts of all ages are getting ready for some spooky Halloween fun.
That was Jesse Kirsch reporting. Coming up, the winners of the WKT hanging out in New Hartford tonight. Bill, how's that weather?
Yeah, it feels strange to be outside with it feeling this warm for Halloween. I mean, we've been doing live shots now and over the years, and it's always been bundling up. We've got the wind and sometimes even the snow, but this year it's just so different. We're looking at temperatures in the 70s. We almost hit 80 degrees, just shy, 79, the unofficial high at Griffiths and Rome. It's possible we might have been able to do that between hours, but we won't know that until after 8 o'clock. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's quiet. If you're heading out and doing trick-or-treating, the weather looks fantastic. We're starting to see some more crowds, more kids showing up here, and I think it's going to become a lot busier here as we head into this evening. And again, the weather looks really nice. Expecting to stay dry as we head into this evening. Rain arrives tonight. It's going to be after midnight, so no issues here for the trick-or-treaters. It's cool. It's windy as we head into tomorrow. Kind of a dose of reality, but as we head into the weekend with temperatures back into the 50s and even the upper 40s here. Mostly cloudy, temperatures in the 60s, very comfortable for the trick-or-treaters. Got to look at the 7-day forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
All right, Bill, thanks very much. We'll check in with you in just a few minutes. It's time to reveal the winner of the Beautiful Costume Contest on WKTV.com. After several days of voting, are you ready for it? Halloween Daisy's version in the pet category. And look what Natasha Kirkland of Utica made her do. And Mr. Noah Cow is the winner of the kids category. Oh yeah, this sweet little moo cow was submitted by Hannah Scarlett of Rome. Hannah and Natasha are going to get $50 gift certificates to Seneca Wine and Liquors and tickets to see Dirty Dancing live. How cool is that? The Today Show always goes big for Halloween, and this
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're live here in New Hartford. It is a really warm day, and it's turning out to be a great evening. We have trick-or-treaters that are starting to show up, and it's been pretty busy here. We're expecting the weather to remain dry as we head into this evening. I know a lot of folks are heading out and about, and as we take a live look at the radar, we do have some rain to the west. We do have a cold front that's coming in, but this is going to arrive after this evening. A lot of this rain is here from midnight onward, and this weather system is going to put an end to what has turned out to be an incredibly warm day. Temperatures in the upper 70s. Just a reminder, as we head into the weekend, we fall back 1 hour. We go over from daylight time to standard time, so we gained an hour of sleep, and we have an earlier sunset. So the sunset next week will be 4:45 as opposed to 4:45. Current temperature is 77. It is warm. It has turned out to be an outstanding and very warm Halloween. And a high temperature today, 79, breaking the record, which was 74, set back in 2004. Temperatures across the area: Little Falls 77, Cooperstown 74, Westmoreland 75, Inlet with 69. Temperatures will cool off into the 60s as we get into this evening. Look at these changes ahead. We're going to drop into the low 60s Friday, and then we're only into the upper 40s on Saturday and low 50s Sunday and Monday. So back to reality here. That's much closer to what is typical for this time of the year. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast showers come to an end tonight. It is cooler and it's windy tomorrow. Temperatures will be in the low 60s as we start the morning. Clouds are going to be lingering around throughout the day, and it's going to cool off. So by evening time, we're in the low 50s. We're dry, we're cloudy tomorrow night, and then on Saturday, the sun comes back out, and it's looking really nice with high temperatures in the upper 40s to low 50s. Rain tonight, low temperature of 58. Tomorrow, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies. It's windy, and again, that high temperature happens early in the day. It's going to be a lot cooler as we get into the afternoon. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast, 48 on Saturday. We're down into the upper 20s Saturday night, so a widespread frost. Sunday, we're in the low 50s. We're dry throughout the weekend. Monday, widespread rain, temperatures in the low 50s. Election day looks warm, temperatures in the 60s, and then the weather starts to cool down with highs in the upper 50s looking ahead to next Thursday. We'll be right back.
To bring in Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis, you were out and about today. Wow, was it nice out for trick-or-treaters today.
It's strange. It did not feel like Halloween just walking around. It felt like the summertime. So we ended up hitting 79 degrees. That broke the record. That shattered the record.
Crushed it, yeah.
74 in 2003. A lot of folks have brought up the 2019 flood that we had on Halloween as it being a warm day. It's not even close to the same setup. So just because you have warm weather on Halloween doesn't mean you're going to get that event happening again. We will have some rain, though, as we head into tonight's live look at the Airfield Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. A cold front on the way that is going to produce rain and a big drop in temperature. Take a look. 63 for the high tomorrow. Then we're into the 40s as we start the weekend. We'll stay in the low 50s here Sunday and Monday before it starts to warm up again for Election Day. Forecast, current temperature rather, still 71. Can you believe that? 10 o'clock at night on October 31st. That's incredible. We will cool off tonight. We'll down into the upper 50s with rain moving in. I've got to look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. We are staying on the story of a house.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
It is a toasty end to October here in Central New York. A current temperature of 71 degrees in downtown Utica. High temperatures today climbed into the upper 70s. Westmoreland 79, Rome 79, Herkimer 78, Camden 77, even 74 in Old Forge in the Adirondacks. But this warm weather is coming to an end. We are tracking a cold front. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. The leading edge of this front is producing some late rain to the north. More to come as we head into tonight and tomorrow. High school football, it's going to be much cooler tomorrow evening in the wake of this cold front. Temperatures will be in the low 50s by game time. The weather does look dry. We are tracking a partly sunny weekend. It looks like temperatures will be close to 50 degrees both Saturday and Sunday. And it will be pretty chilly Saturday night. So again, much cooler weather on the way. As we look at the forecast, if you're looking to clean up the yard, I know a lot of leaves have come down. The next couple of days, the weather should be nice to do that. Again, some rain tonight, so you may want to wait for this to dry out a little bit. Friday afternoon would be better. As we get into the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, both days look dry. The radar and satellite image, here comes a cold front moving in from the west. You can see widespread wind with this. This will move through as we head into tonight. So widespread rain, followed by wind. We start out tomorrow morning with partly sunny skies. Looks pretty nice in the morning, but guess what? The lake effect clouds come barreling in. It'll turn overcast, cold, and windy as we head throughout the afternoon with temperatures falling into the 50s. Tomorrow night, we're down into the 30s. On Saturday, it starts out sunny. We'll see a mix of sunshine and clouds. And again, just a much chillier day with high temperatures in the upper 40s. Partly cloudy skies tonight with rain, a low of 59. Tomorrow, cloudy and windy, and temperatures start out in the low 60s, but again, temperatures fall most of the day. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Saturday's high 48. The clocks change over the weekend. On Sunday, we fall back 1 hour, so we gain an hour. Monday, rain 50 degrees. Election day 67. Showers return on Wednesday.
I mean, it's early yet, but it looks like you're not going to have any reason not to get out and vote.
Yeah, and there's also early voting too, so you really have no excuse.
Yeah, like if you're, oh, it's going to rain Tuesday, so vote tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Bill. Coming up next, the Dodgers. Well, we bring in Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis because you hit the ball out of the park. Grand slam for a weather tonight.
I can't take credit. I'm just the messenger.
Take the credit when you can.
79 today. 79. That is something that's more typical in late August.
Yeah.
It felt strange. It was so warm, felt so out of place, and very few complaints.
No complaints at all.
We ended up breaking the record high of 74, which we did, I think, before noontime, which is incredible. And we do have some cooler weather on the way. We're tracking a cold front that's going to produce some showers here tonight. We can see a few showers moving in from the north on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Temperatures are going to start cooling off tomorrow. We start out in the 60s. We'll drop into the 50s throughout the afternoon. And then we're into the upper 40s here as we head into Saturday. A couple of cool days ahead before it starts to warm up for Election Day. 72 degrees. Temperature actually went up a degree over the last hour. For 11 o'clock at night on October 31st, that is incredible. Almost as incredible as breaking the record to stay this warm this late into the night. But again, it is going to change. We're having this cold front move through, produces some rain, and temperatures will fall tonight into the upper 50s. I've got to look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. We're staying on the story of a house fire in the
WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
A really warm evening here in Central New York. Can we really believe that it's Halloween? 71 degrees at 11 p.m. This is temperatures that we would see in the middle of summer. This would be warm for a summer night, let alone a late October night. Temperatures today close to 80 degrees. The high temperature in Westmoreland 79, Rome 79, Camden 77, even 74 in the Adirondacks. Old Fort's checking in with that. We are tracking some showers. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. This is part of a cold front that sweeps through the region tonight. And the weather tomorrow will be a lot cooler. High school football, cloudy skies. Temperatures will be in the low 50s. It's windy as well. So if you're heading out to a high school football game, it does look chilly. And that chilly weather is going to stick around as we head into the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, partly sunny skies. Saturday, slightly colder than Sunday, a high of 48. 52 for the high on Sunday. Need to clean the yard, get ready for winter. The next couple of days are looking to be good for that, especially over the weekend. Tomorrow, the day does look dry, but it is going to be windy as we head into the afternoon. Radar and satellite image, we are tracking a cold front that moves in from the west. Again, some showers with it. This will be moving through overnight, and by the time we head into tomorrow morning, the rain will be coming to an end. So a quick shot of rain here after midnight. Temperatures start out in the low 60s early
in the day, but then it cools off. Some sunshine early in the morning, so it kind of looks nice early, but then the lake effect clouds take over. It's cloudy, it's windy, and it's cooler throughout the afternoon. Temperatures fall into the low 50s by dinner time. Cloudy skies tomorrow night, clearing as we head into early Saturday. Sunshine, we start out in the 30s, we'll climb into the upper 40s. A widespread hard frost is expected Saturday night. Partly cloudy tonight, low of 59. Again, that rain rolls through. Cloudy, windy tomorrow, an early high of 63. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Temperatures over the weekend, again in the upper 40s. Saturday, don't forget the clocks change this weekend. We fall back Sunday, early Sunday morning. We get an hour, hopefully, of sleep. Monday, rain 50. Election day looks mild, 67. So not quite back to 70, but pretty close by Tuesday.
Enjoy this while we can, because we know this isn't going to stick around.
Yeah, we're on borrowed time.
All right, thank you, Bill. Coming up next, the Dodgers